you.
Thank you so much.
The next one is Waipapa Papanui-Innes Community Board, Emma Norris. Simon Britton here. Yep, and Simon Britton. I always do this. Who is that masked man?
Kia ora koutou, thank you for having us along today. It's great to be back reporting to you in person. We do have one part A on your agenda today. It's the Shirley slow speed neighbourhood. It's a fairly straightforward recommendation which we hope you'll follow. But I would like to make the point that a lot of the feedback received on the proposal talked about the need for traffic calming to slow vehicles in the area. So our recommendation includes a note that speeds will be monitored and that traffic calming will be considered if required. At our April meeting, we approved a right turn bay and no stopping areas on Marshlands Road at the Turners Road intersection. We approved some new road and lane names in the Oakbridge subdivision, as well as receiving our area report, from which we're going to highlight a few things for you now.
Something that we brought to council a meeting or two ago was a request from the community in Shirley for plantings to form a Birdsong trail through Mcfarlane Park in Shirley. There's some really great activations and projects and things happening through Mcfarlane Park. This is another one that we think has some real potential, and we requested, and staff now have connected with the members of the community that have requested that and taken a walk through that park just to discuss the aspiration and to look at the possibilities there. The word blank canvas is in there somewhere in terms of some of the opportunities in that park. We're really hopeful to see that through, but we do thank staff for their support for it so far.
Last month saw 95 gardeners in our area receive their 2022 Garden Pride Award certificates. Although we were unable to hold an awards ceremony this year, it was still great to be able to recognise these people who put so much effort into their gardens, and we thank all of them.
We've also had our Edible and Sustainable Garden Awards. This year, again, we haven't had an event around that, but we did give recipients the option to be presented with certificates in person. Should they wish to do so, you can see a few of them there. I probably shouldn't pick out people in particular, but I do want to acknowledge Ivan Hibbard, who's in the photo on the left, who's a Belfast resident who's participated in these awards every year since their inception, and has got an amazing garden up there, and a couple of community groups that we've presented certificates pictured there as well.
Next up, this is a picture of the Sheldon Park netball courts, which have finally been resurfaced. Though the courts had gotten to the point where the Belfast Netball Club were unable to use them due to their poor state. So it's great to finally have them back up to this standard. So thank you for staff for that.
This week we've got works on Langdons Road constructing a couple of pedestrian refuge islands up the road from this picture. To improve safety for some of our vulnerable road users there. And what will next be underway is what you can see in this picture, which is some improvements at the roundabout. Those who go through this area will know this is a super busy spot, and it's become increasingly busy in recent years. So this is mostly, there's not a lot of room to move here. There's some real space constraints. So the project here is around paint and surface treatments, tactile pavers, some pedestrian hold rails, doing what can be done to tune that intersection for cycle safety through it, especially with increasing vehicle traffic through that area. This is a project that's being done by staff through a staff delegation. It didn't require a board decision, but the board's been fully informed through that process. There's been engagement with key stakeholders in the community there as well, including with Kiwi Property, who own the mall that's in one corner of that shop. They're in full support of this as well. So you're really looking forward to doing everything we can along that whole corridor along Langdons Road to continue to improve safety for the whole community there.
And then finally for our report this week, we've had ongoing engagement with residents of both Flockton Street and Francis Avenue in St Albans since the CNC opened, as both streets have experienced a noticeable increase in traffic volumes. Last month we held an online meeting with residents of each street where staff presented data and discussed possibilities for trialling traffic calming measures on those streets. There were some good discussions had at both meetings, and staff are progressing the trial options as quickly as they can in order to provide some relief for these residents, because it is having a big impact on their lives. And that's us.
Okay, Pauline, and then
Thank you. Just
Celeste.
quickly, look, with the Birdsong Trail coming through, the idea there with the Shirley Community Trust leading that with all the other agencies in there, there is a big question hanging over that because, Leanne, you might remember Kāinga Ora were doing some work in there to put in a housing project and do some land swaps to replace the green space. Now, that's gone on hold, and I don't know, or we don't know where it's at. I got hold of someone at Kāinga Ora who was very iffy about it and vague and was going to get back. So is there any way this organisation could look into getting a response on where the planning is for that and whether it has been officially dropped?
I'll take
Please,
that.
that'd be good. And just quickly, Leanne, secondly, there's a on the alcohol licensing. It's not in this report because it's probably done too early, but there's an application for a new outlet at 565 Barbados Street. That's the Barbados Edgeware shopping centre there. It's a very small shopping centre, so it's a brand new application for a brand new business, and there's quite a bit of community kickback on that, and the submissions close on Sunday. Thank you. Oh no, the 18th. Sorry, that's next week. The 18th of May.
Right. Celeste? Okay. Taryn?
On the Birdsong one, because there's always been security issues around there, will it pass a CITED assessment because of
That would
creates
be
hollow places to hide?
part of what staff are looking at. That park has come a long way over recent years. The community garden in there has made a big difference. Having the Mcfarlane Park Centre and that northern end of it has also made a difference. And the murals down the other end towards the school, it's changed a lot.
Great. Awesome.
Right, okay. Look, thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.
And appreciate you coming on for that. Thank you. And the last of the community boards, I think, is Te Pātaka o